For grammar this week, we're going to be talking about subject pronouns. So remember that when we have been looking at sentences, we've been practicing finding the subject of a sentence and the predicate. The subject always answers the question, who or what was that sentence about? Now, we've been practicing a lot with subjects that are either concrete nouns, like what we practiced last week, maybe proper nouns, or even abstract nouns. This week I want to show you subject pronouns. And a lot of times we could replace a proper noun or some common nouns with subject pronouns. So let's take a look and let me show you what I mean by that. So a pronoun is a word that can take the place of one or more nouns in a sentence. The pronouns I, you, he, she, it, we, and they are subject pronouns. Pronouns, just like any other nouns, can be singular, just one, or plural, meaning many. A noun and the subject pronoun that replaces it must match each other in the singular or plural forms. And what I mean by that is if I was talking about the toys and the lunch boxes need to be put away, toys and lunchboxes are plural. So if I wanted to replace those with a pronoun, I would need to use a plural pronoun like they. They shows me I know that I'm talking about more than one thing. Look at this example with the blue writing. Jack and Carl went to the movie theater. Who or what is that sentence about? Jack and Carl. So that's the subject of our sentence. And both of those are nouns. They are actually proper nouns, meaning they're naming specific people. So you'll notice that Jack and Carl were capitalized because they're naming specific people. Now, if we wanted to, we could replace Jack and Carl with a subject pronoun and just say they went to the movie theater. And that sentence still makes sense. We still know we're talking about more than one person because we use that plural pronoun. And we just kind of simplified the sentence. Let's take a look at some other examples and see if we can think of some pronouns that could replace the sentence or replace our subjects in other sentences. So right here, we're just going to kind of discuss, and you're going to practice this on your own today. So in this first one, George and his mom like to sketch. Who is that sentence about? George and his mom, so two people. So we need a plural pronoun. So he, she, it, they would be a plural subject pronoun. So instead of George and his mom like to sketch, we could easily just say they like to sketch. Number 2, Aaron and I use watercolor paints in class. So this one is about Aaron and I, two people, but instead of using they, because that's talking about someone else, we're going to switch it to we, because that includes me, and we needed to do that because of this I. Aaron and I, or we, use watercolor paints in class. Number 3, the boy has crayons and a coloring book. How many people? Just one, the boy. And what pronoun could we replace the boy with? He. He has crayons and a coloring book. Number 4, the glue will dry out if you leave the cap off. Now, the glue is not a person, but it is a noun because it's a thing. So what pronoun could we replace the glue with? Well, we could replace it with it. It will dry out if you leave the cap off. So in that sentence, it is still the subject. Who or what is that sentence about? It's about it. So it would be our subject pronoun. Number 5, Miss Harper designs fancy dresses. Miss Harper. We want to replace Miss Harper. Now that's just one person, so we want to replace it with a singular pronoun. And we also want it to be referring to a female because we know we're talking about Miss Harper. So we could replace that with she designs fancy dresses. Number 6, Charles draws on the driveway with chalk. Who drives on the driveway? Charles does. That's just one person. We need a singular subject pronoun, and we could replace Charles with he. He draws on the driveway with chalk. The sculptor shapes her clay. So in this one, we know that this is a female who we're talking about because it says her clay. So we could replace the sculptor with she. The sculptor shapes her clay. She shapes her clay. Number 8, Miles and I cut shapes out of construction paper. This one is similar to number 2 where we had Aaron and I. We need a subject pronoun that includes me. So again, we're going to use the subject pronoun we. We cut out shapes out of construction paper. Now you're going to practice doing these on your own.